If you are wondering why it seems that your dismissive avoidant partner is emotionally unavailable or very distant and detached, you have come to the right place. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. This is Dismissible Me, where I speak about dismissive avoidant attachment, specifically my own. So please join the journey, hit the like button, subscribe for my daily content Monday through Friday, and let me know where you're watching from, as well as drop any questions that you would like to see me answer in a future video in the comment section as well. So getting right into it, Dismissible fam, the number one reason it seems like someone who is a dismissive avoidant may be distant, what I found is people are asking me where I stand, and I don't know. Sometimes the other person is moving too fast for me. Like, you may know where a situation is going, you may have all these feelings and ideas and plans for the future, and not that I didn't come in knowing where I want a relationship to go or knowing what I want, but that doesn't necessarily mean that when you are sure about what you want, I'm sure about you and what I want with you. So sometimes it's a matter of, you might be asking me and it's too soon for me to know. I haven't quite gotten there yet. I may still be trying to figure you out as a person before I emotionally invest. So it's not that I'm not interested or invested. I'm giving you my time. I'm giving you my effort. But emotionally, thoughts and feelings, hand holding, bring it in for a hug. No, actually don't. I might not be there yet. Or if you're expecting me very early on to just be very open and be an open book and share a lot of things with you, that's not necessarily something that I would do very early on either. If we're talking about a little bit later on and more established and feeling emotionally distant, it may be a situation where you may have invested more emotionally than I'm investing. It could also be that let me think about how I want to say this. I know that some people have taken my need for space and independence as being emotionally distant, and it's not that I was emotionally distant, it's I need time by myself, and I'm an individual. I pride myself on being an individual and having the ability to do things on my own. Even if I'm in a relationship with somebody, I'm still going to want to go to dinner and go to lunch by myself and have a meal by myself while I'm out. Not just eating in my house alone, but actually having a nice dinner quietly with myself in a nice place. That's something that I'll always do. And there have been some people that have called me while we were dating and I was out at dinner by myself, and that was offensive. Like, why didn't you invite me? Because I didn't want you to come. I wanted to have some time to myself. Sometimes it's not even a lack of emotional interest or investment. There's a focus on the fact that I still need time to myself that other people just can't seem to understand. That's just a part of who I am. I need me time by myself, time to do other things that are outside of the relationship. Another reason that somebody that has a dismissive avoidant attachment may be emotionally distant. I can be emotionally distant and be very conscious and aware that I'm emotionally distant when I know that a situation is not. When I know a situation is not going to go any further than a certain point. If I know very early on, like, I like you, but I wouldn't necessarily you're not going to be my man. I can have a good time with you, but things are only going to go so far. Like, we're not going to be hand-holding. Obviously, there's not going to be super deep conversations. That's also a part of it. I'm not going to overly invest. Again, I'll show up, I'll do the things, I'm having fun. But if I know that it's you are not meeting my needs, whatever those things are, or I don't see us compatible in the long term and the big picture in my mind, I won't emotionally invest. And that may be your sign and red flag that it's time for you to exit stage left. Because if somebody doesn't see a future in it, there's no future in it. And this is also a reason why I'm very upfront and I have a lot of high boundaries, so somebody isn't wasting their time. I feel some people say they want to go with the flow, and they really don't want to go with the flow. They think the flow is flowing towards the river of relationships, and you didn't say that. You didn't say that. So I thought that maybe this flow was just the jacuzzi jets flow, and we're staying in place, and we're floating, and everything's hot and warm and relaxed and comfortable, and we're not moving anywhere. You see what I'm saying? So it's that. Like, it is so important to establish clear boundaries in the beginning, not after you decide where things are going, but being very clear and intentional when you first meet somebody about where things are going. If you don't see it going here, then you need to end things with me. Now, everybody won't do that for personal reasons. Some people are deeply insecure and they can't be alone, or whatever the deal is. But if you know that and you're enforcing your boundaries, you'll be able to eliminate people. I see a lot of anger in the comment sections because people just wouldn't change. Sometimes you have to be the person that changes. Sometimes it's not for the other person to change. Sometimes you have to change people. You know what I'm saying? That's the word for today. Another reason I may seem emotionally distant or detached. It's so hard to talk on these things. I have no idea. I don't know how people can demand things with one of these things on. It's so tricky. So anyway, another reason I may be emotionally distant or detached is if you're putting a lot of pressure on me to open up and tell you things, if you're putting a lot of pressure on me to get physical with you, I'm absolutely going to push back and detach myself from the situation. Because again, if I'm not in that place with you, I'm not going to allow you to force me into that space or make me uncomfortable and make me move faster than what I'm willing to move. So then you could feel, and I've mentioned this in another video, like the coldness, which is more like awkward. I don't know exactly what's going on here. I don't know where it's going, but yeah, it can be that awkward coldness, like, I'm not sure. What's another reason I may seem emotionally distant, detached? I'm not interested. It's too soon. It could also be that you're putting me in an uncomfortable situation or a situation that is unfamiliar to me. So let's say, especially as I'm somebody who doesn't date often, I could be experiencing something that is for the first time or unfamiliar, and that pushes me into this awkwardness that is like cold, which comes off to other people as like coldness and being detached and not present. But I'm very much present. I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with the situation that I'm in the present moment. And so I'm just kind of, I don't want to call it shutting down, but it's like a micro shutting down. It's just like a small, until I'm in a place where I can safely process what's happening mentally, I'm just going to kind of not run away. It's more of like a freeze or like a standstill response. Like I'm not moving anywhere. It's like I'm just standing in place. And I hate to even call it a freeze response because it's not like fear. It's not like, don't make any sudden moves like we're in Jurassic Park. It's more like let me just be still. Let me just be in this moment, experience the moment. And then when I go back to the bat cave where I'm comfortable, I can then process what happened and go through what I was feeling, what I was thinking, what I'm feeling right now that I've thought about things and processed it. And then what am I going to do now that I know that actions need to be taken or there needs to be a conversation that needs to be had, and then working my way through it. So to me, most of it seems to be, for me, awkwardness. But on the other hand, it could be that things are just moving too fast for me, or I'm just very uncomfortable. I'm not ready to do that yet. But any type of pressure to do something, to open up, to be vulnerable, to or taking things to the next level, increasing where you're at in the relationship, hand holding, hugging, kissing, whatever, that also will bring that in, because it's always like okay, we're here, and then like, so we get here, and then I need to take a break. I need to take a breather, right? Because I just went up 20 flights of stairs to get to this new level. Then we go here. right? I need to catch my breath. I need to just stand still for a minute so I can process what's happening up here, because now I just went through another 20 steps. And I was just getting used to, level number 2 after 20 levels, but now I'm at 40 flights of stairs, and on level 2. It's that. I'm pacing myself. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's a slow one. So yeah, that's why a dismissive avoidant may seem emotionally detached. It's too soon. They're not quite sure. Situation got awkward. They haven't experienced this before. They haven't quite processed their feelings and emotions and or their thoughts on a situation, and you kind of caught them by surprise. But it's not always as sinister as they're looking for something else or looking to bail, though it could be that there's a lack of interest, but typically it's more somebody's uncomfortable. Family, let me know what resonated for you. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, check out my previous content in the playlist. There's tons of videos, and I'll be tapping in with you tomorrow, family. Keep it real.